Hi everyone, this is Yana Smakula and thank you so much for joining me today. In this video, I'm sharing several Easter and spring cards created using Best Days Release products from Simon Says Stamp. I wanted to get this video up sooner, but as you guys know, I am moving soon and I was just so busy with packing everything and purging, the time just got away from me. So I'm sorry that this video is a little late. Anyhow, I have 3 cards to share, all made using the same products. These are very simple projects, and this video will basically just walk you through the creative process in case you're looking for some inspiration to jumpstart your crafting. I always say this, guys, but if you happen to feel inspired by one of my videos or cards and make something, please share it online and tag me. I always love seeing what you make, and by doing so, by seeing it, you guys inspire me back. I'm going to start working on my cards by stamping this reverse polka dot background in various colors of ink onto white paper. I'm using my stamp platform from Tim Holtz for my stamping today, as I've really been enjoying using it lately. I love using my mini MISTI for stamping smaller images, but for large backgrounds, I seem to reach for the platform and not my large MISTI. I did add removable adhesive to the base of my platform. I use this to temporarily adhere my cardstock panels in place if I do not want to place them in the corner of the tool, and this works really well for me. The paper doesn't move, I can easily re-stamp things multiple times, and I have perfect results. And because this adhesive is removable, I have no problem removing the panels from the platform. So this reverse polka dot background stamp gives you the look of patterned paper with minimum effort. All you need here is white cardstock and whatever color of ink you want. I think this is a genius stamp, and I'm shocked that I didn't have one before and I didn't feel like I needed one in my stash before. It's just one of those things that you don't think you need until you try it. I don't have patterned paper in my stash as I don't use it often, and I like to make my own backgrounds, and this stamp is simply perfect for me because I can have a simple background, not a busy background, so a simple background that goes with anything in any color that I can possibly want, as long as I have an ink pad of that color, and I do have a lot of ink pads. So this really does work well for me. I found that double or triple stamping this image gives the best results. You can get solid, perfect coverage, and it's just fantastic, really. I'm so happy with this background, and had I not have this move planned, I would have been probably stamping it in every color of ink that I own, just because it is so cool. So I used apricot. This color felt like a fresh spring color to me. I also used pale blush pink, rosy cheeks, and twirling tutu. In the end, I also stamped a few more backgrounds using light gray ink colors, fog, barely beige, and fossil, and I do have more projects to share using those other light backgrounds. And all of these inks that I'm using today, these are dye inks from Simon Says Stamp. I am doing a quick cleanup of my stamp in between the colors, so I'm just wiping my stamp clean. I'm not too worried about the ink on the platform. I'll get that cleaned up once I'm done stamping my background, and it cleans up easily with a wet baby wipe. I'm using dye ink from Simon Says Stamp, and this ink looks blotchy at first, but it does dry out to be perfectly smooth, and it gives fantastic even coverage. So you just have to give it a bit of time, not too long, maybe like 5 or 10 minutes, and you'll see how much nicer these backgrounds look when I come back to them. So the ink will smooth out and will look perfect. Now that my backgrounds are done, I went to stamp a few bunnies for my cards, and I'm using solid bunny images from the Oh Bunny stamp set from Simon, stamping bunnies in both fossil and fog ink colors. Now this is brand new stamp, and because it was never used before, I was having a little bit of trouble getting a solid impression. Whenever this happens, I just go and prime my stamp, and I do that by using a pencil eraser. It's the same pencil eraser that I use for everything else in my craft room. So I just go over the surface of the stamp with the eraser, and the stamp is good to go. I cut my paper into strips so that I could stamp a bunch of bunnies at once using my mini MISTI, and that I didn't have to reposition this stamp in the tool all the time. I hope that makes sense. I also stamped a bunch of branches from the Bold Flowers stamp set in 2 colors of ink. You can see me priming this stamp again with a pencil eraser. The ink colors I used were Jelly Bean and Willow. I wanted to use some sort of greenery on my cards next to the bunnies, and this branch looked like it was the perfect shape. I also wanted to make a wreath, and the branch has a slight curve to it, so it worked perfectly for my needs. I used coordinating dies to cut these images out in my Spellbinders Platinum die cutting machine, and I moved on to putting my cards together. I'll show you how I put one of the cards together, and I will just share the other projects at the end of the video as they are very simple and easy to make. I used a layer of white fun foam and double-sided adhesive sheets to die cut another bunny shape. I used that foam shape to foam mount my stamped and die cut bunny onto my card. And I already trimmed one of my backgrounds to 4 by 5 1/4 inches. I foam mounted it onto A2 white card base. I arranged the branches around the bunny to form a circle or a wreath and used foam adhesive squares to foam mount them in place. I had to cut my squares into narrow strips to hide under the branches, and I just worked my way around the bunny, adhering them in place. I did shape each branch with my fingers. I just wanted it to have a little bit of dimension. I wanted to make this into a bunny wreath, so not just greenery wreath. And I also stamped and die cut a bunch of smaller bunnies and hearts from my O Bunny stamp set, and I tucked them into the branches, making it look like as if they're sitting in the wreath. To emphasize this number of bunnies, I went with the Happy Easter from All of Us sentiment, and I white heat embossed it onto craft paper. Now, I couldn't decide if I wanted my sentiment heat embossed on craft or vellum or stamped onto white paper, so I did try a few things, but in the end, this white on craft seemed to look the best. Next, I used a white gel pen and I added little pen details onto some of the leaves on the branches, just little highlights here and there. I mentioned I made several cards, so here's a closer look at them. My bunny wreath card with a bunch of bunnies hiding in the branches. Really like this one. Here's Somebody Loves You with the 2 branches above and below the bunny. I also have some hearts stamped onto my background, and all of the elements here are foam mounted with a solid layer of fun foam, so this card can easily go through the mail and things will not get smooshed. And here's my last card for today, Hello Bunny. I just added some additional blooming branches and stamped some hearts onto my background, and you can see that I used fog ink for the background reverse polka dot background. It looks perfect here. I just can't get enough of this stamp. I do have one more bunny card to share, but I'll have another video for that card, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you feel inspired to create. You can find a full list of supplies that I used to make these cards in the description below my video or on my blog. If you have any questions, as always, please leave them in a comment section below, and be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't yet done so. If you are a subscriber but are not receiving new video notifications, check the bell icon on the homepage of my channel to get notified every time there is a new video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!